Before we begin, 3 messages. When my company needed to develop a key mobile product, one that I was counting on as a new source of revenue, I knew exactly who to turn to. Macadamian. They delivered on time with incredible attention to detail, and I was able to get product into customers' hands faster than I ever thought possible. I've personally known them for 10 years, and they do make great products even better. Check them out at www.macadamian.com. What mobile platform do companies like eBay, NBC Universal, the Los Angeles Times, Razorfish, and PayPal use to build their cross-platform native applications? Titanium by Appcelerator. They aren't alone. There are now over 25,000 apps deployed by Appcelerator, which has been called the Rosetta Stone of app development. And you can start now for free. Just go to www.appcelerator.com for more information. So, you've taken some of the advice that has come from Untether.tv guests, built an app, and now you're turning your attention to generating some hard-earned revenue. Then you should be looking at Pontiflex App Leads. Some of your peers who are using App Leads are earning CPMs 100 times the industry average. And if you need any other reasons to start, I'll give you 2 more. You can run sign-up ads from top brands, the ones that you recognize, and it won't take your precious users out of your app. Go to appleads.com, that's appleads.com to sign up. Hello everybody, welcome to Untether.tv. This is the place where we have these casual conversations with mobile rock stars, where we try to bring their stories to you so you can actually, learn and maneuver your business around their mistakes, or actually get some ideas about how you can do your business better. And I don't know about you, but I do a podcast with Steve Kahn from the Location-Based Marketing Association called This Week in Location-Based Marketing. It's every week. It comes out on Monday morning, just in case you didn't know. And one of the stories that one of the companies that we featured in as a I think it was a feature of the week was a company called Ringleadr based out of New York City. And if you've ever listened to that podcast, you'll also understand my views about Groupon and the group buying mentality, which I think is a fad, and those morons at Groupon should have taken the $6 billion and walked away, because this is a ridiculous labor-intensive industry. Having said that, when Steve brought Ringleadr to my attention, it struck me as finally something that is actually of great value. We love this idea, and it's the reason why I decided to actually bring Mike Davis on to talk about this, because Ringleadr does it differently, and it puts the power of the discount into the consumer's hand. And I'll let Mike go into this, but it really did impress me, and I love this idea, and I think that there's room for many, many, many companies like this, and this is of great value, greater than Groupon or the couponing, because I think those are ridiculous businesses at this point. If you disagree with that, you can reach out at untether@gmail.com, and I'd love to have that conversation with you. But I'd like to bring in Mike. Mike, thank you so much for coming on Untether and sharing this story. And as I said, big fan of what you're doing with Ringleadr. Welcome.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, I'm not even going to ask your views about Groupon and the group buying stuff. That approach to group buying, not the way you're doing it, but maybe I am. Do you have an opinion about what Groupon is? And they paved the way, certainly, Living Social, those guys. But is that a business?
I think it is a business. I think they will morph over time. I think different environmental factors will dictate how their business progresses over the years. But there are a lot of smart people over there, and they'll figure out a way to make money.
Do you think that they? Can you say this? Do you think they should have taken the money?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
I think that we agree on that.
Well, Andrew already cashed out in a way, so he's okay.
Yeah, I think they did a $1 billion round, and 93% of it ended up into the founder's pocket. So, yeah. But it's not $6 billion. I mean, it's a paltry one, right?
Right. Exactly.
Well, we talked about this before we started recording. But Mike, promise me if you get a $6 billion offer, you'll take it, because I don't want to have that conversation.
Done. Absolutely done.
So, Ringleadr, let's talk about this. Why don't you give an overview of what it is? It's a great idea, and I love the execution on this. So, Ringleadr.
Sure, yeah. Ringleadr was kind of hatched because of sites like Groupon and Living Social. More so, though, for the couple of hundred other clones that followed them. Ringleadr wasn't born because of Groupon, but more so, like I said, some of these other guys that came across the way here. How many sites are out there doing this? How many clones? Hundreds, thousands?
We're definitely in an innovative dip, I would say, around some of these ideas.
So if you signed up with every single one of them to receive emails every morning, what percentage of those would be deals that you just don't care about?
Right.
Probably a lot of them. Probably 99.9% of them.
Yes.
So that's where we are with Ringleadr. Ringleadr is the only website out of literally hundreds or thousands of these group buying clones that actually puts the power of the deal negotiation into the hands of the user. So what we're doing is, we're eliminating deals that just aren't relevant to the average user, and we're letting them create the deals they want only from the businesses and products they care about. So unlike these other deal sites, these Ringleaders or these influencers can create deals for anything they want, making sure the deals couldn't be more relevant to them.
So they literally, like the Ringleaders, literally pick a business and say, "Listen, I want a deal here," and then if they get enough people to back that deal, or not even enough people, but it's over a period of time, and then that deal then gets presented to that business, and they choose whether or not they want to participate or honor that deal. Is that the way that it works?
Exactly. So what's happening is Ringleaders are essentially making a proposal to these businesses. Yeah. This isn't a hard deal where it's take it or leave it, or this isn't an actual deal that people can purchase. This is a proposal, and if the business wants to approve it, they can, as is. If they want to modify it and send something back to the Ringleader and their accomplices, they can. Or they can deny it too.
They can just flat out say, "No, I don't give a damn about my customers."
Flat out say, "No, I don't give a damn. I don't want all these people coming into my business spending money." So
it's a terrible thing.
It's a terrible thing. It is, absolutely. And what we're finding is when Ringleaders create these deals, it's becoming pretty easy to get accomplices. We call them accomplices because each Ringleader needs an accomplice. We're finding that it's pretty easy for them to attract these accomplices because what they're doing is they are tapping into their social graph. They're getting into their Facebook, they're getting into their Twitter, and any other social outlet they can find, and they're tapping into that. So it's kind of like-minded users banding together to create the deals that they want. So
do you know how many, talking about that, the conversion rate about these guys, so is it very high? You guys launched in April of this year, of 2011, and so you've obviously got some data now that talks about conversion rate around, the consumer-led approach here that Ringleadr takes.
Sure.
Is the conversion rate high, or do people kind of say, what is this Ringleadr stuff? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure. Well, we are a couple weeks old now in public beta.
Yeah.
The thing about our service is we give the Ringleaders and the accomplices plenty of time to get enough people involved. So with that said, we do have a handful of deals that are approved already and ready to launch to the public.
That's great.
Can't speak specifically to the actual conversion rate, but so far so good.
And you got to anticipate that that every single or a good portion of these businesses are gonna want to actually get together on this because of the fact that they're bringing in new customers. So it's different if I'm signing up for a Groupon type deal,
Sure.
where it's like, you know, I'm going to just do this and it's going to blast out and random people are going to select. But this is somebody who actually has frequented my business or might want to frequent my business, who is rallying the troops to get behind it, to get a discount, to convince me to. So these are, the Ringleadr is ultimately, could be a regular customer, couldn't it?
The Ringleaders could be. And what we're finding is that businesses over time are you know, one of the pain points, I should say, with Groupon and Living Social and some of these other sites is that local businesses are finding that, just like you said, you know, these are customers who I already have. You know, I'm just giving 50% off to people who are going to come to my business or, you know, restaurant or spa anyway.
Yep.
So what a Ringleadr is essentially is potentially could be a regular, you know, a regular that comes in every once in a while.
And then,
you know, how do you get that influencer to work for you on your behalf?
right.
You know, are you to walk up to them in your restaurant, approach them and say, hey, I'll give you, you know, 50% off your meal if you can go out and get 100 of your friends to come in next Tuesday?
Yep.
You're probably not going to do that.
Yeah.
So what we're going to find over time is businesses are going to start using Ringleadr to seek out their influencers and their regulars to help them promote their business.
You know, it's interesting because you know, one of the things that I find with with companies like Groupon or services like Groupon, the original group buying, is that it doesn't really create a customer loyalty. And these are the reports that we're getting, is that it doesn't create this customer loyalty that you anticipate because you're getting a discount. It kind of sets a price. Like
Sure.
80% off a manicure, a pedicure, or you know, a waxing or whatever it is that they seem to be prominent, or massage.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of how are you going to be able to address that same issue about loyalty? You know, through the way that you guys are doing it.
Sure. One of the things that we're doing differently than a lot of these group buying clones is we're actually going to be opening up our service to local businesses and really support them. In that, what I mean is once a business approves a deal that a Ringleadr created, we're going to give them access to our system and those accomplices and Ringleaders
Nice.
for up to 3 months after the redemption period. So with that, businesses have the ability to say, hey, you know what, you got 30%, 40%, 50% off my business 3 months ago. How about coming in? We've got this great wine tasting, or, you know, we've got these other things going on that I want you to know about to bring you back in. So we're going to let businesses do that.
So that's great. So ultimately, it allows the system allows them to communicate with them again after they come in, and
Right.
then it's up to that business to bring them back in, whether they offer another discount or just start communicating with them.
Right, exactly. We don't want this to be a one and done situation, and where we control all the tools and all the buttons. We want the local business to be active in our environment and really interact with the people that are interacting with their business.
I like that, and it certainly is a great way to create a relationship, obviously, with that business and your company. Now, the question that I have around that is that what happens if I use a Ringleadr to convince a local pub to give me a discount and
Sure.
and my followers a discount? I mean, would I do that again? You know what I mean? To that same place? Or what happens if somebody else does it to the same place and I join? You know, I guess it's probably too early to tell what that's going to happen. But, you know, if I get 15 or 20 people every time to convince and coerce the pub to give me a discount through Ringleadr, do you kind of anticipate that that's going to happen, that it's just going to be a continuous flow like that?
It could, but again, I mean, we're not only putting the power into the user's hands, but we're also going to be putting a lot of power into the local business's hands. So part of that interaction that we want local businesses to have within our system is to be able to set limitations and guidelines to those types of things. So I'm a Ringleadr. I'm a large influencer within my community. I might give you more flexibility than just new users coming into the site. to create deals more often because you're a higher ranking ringleader in the category of local bars and clubs.
Right.
So because of your ranking, you get put into the bucket of high level influencers within the community. So we're going to be able to give local businesses the tools and the interface to be able to do that.
And then like things like, if I'm the business end, I'll say, listen, I'm not even going to entertain a Ringleadr offer unless you get 30 or 40 or 50 people behind you, right? So those are the kind of limitations that you put in it?
Yeah, those are the types of limitations. And also, we know if a customer has become an accomplice on a deal for that business within a certain timeline. So, in the last 6 months, this bucket of 20 users have already gotten in on a deal for me. They're X'd out from the next deal.
Yeah, they don't count.
Unless they want to become a ringleader.
Yeah.
Then that's a different story.
It's very interesting because when you put the power into the consumer's hands, which is what has happened, what mobile specifically has done, with barcode scanners and price checkups and all those kind of things, as well as Foursquare and the check-in coupon, which is you mentioned it earlier about the fact that you're rewarding people already in your store or loyal customers, which is ridiculous, but. Sure. So, you put the power in the consumer hand, but there have to be those checks and balances from the business side. I keep coming back to Groupon, but a staggering statistic, like 60 or 70% of those companies that used Groupon said that they will never do it again because of they lost a lot of money and they didn't understand it, probably is what it was. Sure. I don't blame Groupon for that. I just, some people have been very successful with Groupon, but... But the control wasn't there like this, right? So ultimately, there have to be settings that allow the business to have some kind of control, or else there could be a backlash. From their patrons if they keep saying no to all of the deals. So there has to be some kind of way to do it, kind of behind the scenes, right?
Sure. Yeah, and I think you're touching on a little mobility there.
Yes. Well, I have to at some point, right?
Exactly.
But before we go into the mobile side, are you worried about Ringleadr kind of having that impact? You're going to build in protections for these companies so that it doesn't hurt their brand, right?
Yeah, and I guess to a certain extent, I think that one of the largest pain points for local business is such a large discount that they're having to give out.
Yeah.
You mentioned 60 to 70% of the businesses that do Groupons or Living Socials, they say they lose a lot of money. Not all deals are created equal, and I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah.
What I find, and this is another reason why we created Ringleadr, is because the best deals that people see on Groupon and Living Social and all the clones are the most relevant ones. They're sure 50% off is great, but the deals that do the best are the ones that are most relevant to the community that uses the site. Right. So in that, what I mean is, we're seeing a lot of, hey, I want 10% off. I want we have a 5% off
5%.
deal. Yeah. So to give 5% off at a local business to a group of ringleaders and accomplices, I would think a business would go for that to get them in the door. So, I say not all deals are created equal. These are relevant deals. These are places that people want to go to. These are products that they want to buy. These are services that they want to participate in. And they're just looking for a little bit more incentive to get in the door.
Yeah, it's so true. There's a company up in Canada. When Facebook Places and Facebook Deals launched in Canada, there was a big hub. There was a big, obviously there was activity. Everybody thought, boy, they're going to kill all these other check-in software companies. But I remember reading a study around this because one of our bookstores up here was giving a 40% discount for checking in to their location. So you check in with Facebook Places or Facebook, and you get a 40% off coupon for the book that you're about to buy anyways.
Okay.
Pretty insane. So I did a little bit of research on it, and I found a study about proximity and the expected discount based on your proximity. So if I am within 15 meters or 100 meters of the store, and you're going to coerce me, and it's going to take a 5% discount to get me in the door. And what this company was doing was giving out a 40% discount, and what that study said, the average user or the average consumer would drive up to 2 hours to get a 40% discount, and they were doing it while they were in the store. Right. So it just kind of lent itself that I thought it's just an education thing, right? This is the latest thing. Do you feel that companies are getting a little bit more sophisticated? They're not jumping into everything, and they're kind of reserving their enthusiasm or excitement around a product or service, and they're tentative to get into these things. Like there's a sophistication growing here.
There is. I think local businesses are getting a lot smarter, and I think you're going to see a power shift over the next couple of years as more and more of these deal sites try to take control of the daily lives of local business owners.
Yeah,
you're going to see a power shift. These guys are getting smarter. It's along the same lines of POS systems are getting a lot lighter. You don't need these big bulky computers, just terminals in your restaurant. You're seeing pop-up restaurants. You're seeing a lot of different things going on that lends itself to the idea that these local businesses are getting a lot smarter. And to touch on the point that you just mentioned about driving 2 hours to get a 40% discount, that guy's never coming back.
Right.
Because he just drove 2 hours to your business. He lives 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So why give him 40% off? So,
I know. It's crazy.
Right, exactly. So, I think business owners are getting smarter, and it should be interesting to see how they interact with, deal sites in the future. So
let's bring this into the mobile context now, because in the articles that I've read about you guys on GigaOM or TechCrunch, the things that pop out to me are always around the mobile space, obviously, and that's what's really intriguing, because you launched this on the web, but you talked saying, listen, we're going to extend into mobile. Do you have a clear idea of how mobile plays into this? Would you like one? Because I got 1,000 ideas.
We'll talk offline.
Okay.
But absolutely. It's just a inevitable scenario. You have to be in mobile, especially if you're an internet company, because that's what people do.
Right.
When they're online, they're majority of the time they're mobile. Even if it's a laptop, it's still kind of mobile. They're not tethered. I can touch on a couple of things that we're looking to do that are in development right now. One thing that Foursquare does well is the individual check-in.
Right.
You go into a local business, you check in, and maybe you get a discount, but essentially what you're doing is you're just telling your friends you're there.
Yes.
Great, here I am, I'm here at the business. Whatever the local business does with that information, who knows? Maybe they like it because they repost it on Twitter or Facebook or whatever they do. Still trying to gauge the value of that for a local business, but I'm getting there. So what we're looking to do is take that concept and turn it into a group model and tie in a deal. So when you're on the move and you're with a group of friends, essentially you become a ringleader, and you're in the park, you're spending a day in the park, and you want to grab a bite to eat, and you with 10 or 15 of your friends. How do you decide where to eat dinner? So on the fly, you can create a deal, and you have 15 friends with you who are also logged into Ringleadr and become accomplices with you. And local restaurants can approve or modify or deny deals on the fly as you're out and about. So that's one of the things that's in development right now. So,
that's really interesting. I love that idea. Like the flash mob mentality is that coerce me. You've got an expiring asset called a table, called a dinner hour, right? There's only one. It doesn't come back, right? If you miss a flip or miss a seating in a restaurant, you missed it. Like, it's not like you bank it. And it's limited between those hours, say 4 to 8 p.m. or 4 to 10. In New York, maybe it's like 4 to midnight, right? For dinner. So I love that idea of expiring inventory, and I love the idea that it's literally you got the Ringleadr app that says, listen, I got 15 of my friends, bid. Right?
Exactly.
This is what we want, and if we don't get it, we'll just go to the next restaurant, right?
Right.
And we know you've got a table.
Right, exactly. In the back end, you'll find restaurants who are offering themselves as available for these types of things in any given period of time.
Yep.
So there will be a marketplace of local businesses, on the other side of a marketplace of groups of buyers at one point, and we'll marry the two.
I see. I love that. Simply because, when you start to think about immediate value to those restaurants or to those locations, it's right away. You could do this with anything. Movie tickets, sporting events. You start to think, oh, okay, this can really take off because, the power of the mob is fairly extensive and it's far-reaching. Right. And 15 tickets to an expiring inventory of a show or 15 seats with 15 meals is definitely worth an incentive kick to get you guys in the door.
Right, and one of the problems that's still, with Groupon and Living Social with their mobile platform is, they're still offering deals to the community as opposed to letting them create their own. So, although they do have a large mobile presence, it's still the opposite of what we're trying to do.
But it is, and I don't mean to pick on Groupon. It's a successful company. It's it's more successful than Untethered.
Yeah, they have so much money.
Yeah, they're making some money, and they're not making money. They're generating revenue. They're not making money, right? But one thing I didn't understand about their mobile strategy was very clearly that it's group buying or its location. Their application now is location coupons, right? So what coupons are available through Groupon around you? Mm-hmm. And Foursquare just announced that they're bringing the Groupon coupon into Foursquare. So when you check in, you'll see Groupon deals around. But it's always like it's happenstance. Right, the odds of me being at a Starbucks and checking in and seeing, Midas across the street is offering a discount on my muffler, and being in the moment where like, hey, you know what? Right after this coffee, I'm going to go and get that muffler.
Exactly.
Or, it's not congruent. Like there's no synergy there, I'm not looking for that. And maybe there are people out there that are different, but it's really about, listen, I'm here. I want to do that. Now, let me enable that for me. And I think that's where Ringleadr and specifically in a mobile environment can really, really, really hit this.
Yeah, it's really all about real-time wants and needs of groups of like-minded people.
Yeah,
and that's what it really boils down to.
Now, have you ever? Is a consideration here that? How do you, in a mobile context? As a Ringleadr, if I establish a relationship with a place of business and I've brought these 20, 30, 40 people with me at some point, right? So they've all bought into this discount ultimately, and they're getting that discount. Is there a way that you kind of create rewards around me as the Ringleadr, like on an ongoing basis? So it's like I introduce you to that restaurant. So every time that person goes into that restaurant and orders something, I get a point. Or have you thought about gamification around this kind of stuff?
Yeah, we've got a leaderboard right now that's coming soon. And a lot of those elements will be tied into some sort of point system that we're in the process of creating. So, yeah, absolutely.
I like that idea.
Yeah. I don't want to give the keys away, but yes, I'm going to say yes to that.
Nice. Okay, that's the best way to do it. It's better than a no comment.
Right.
So I got to ask you, Mike, how does Ringleadr make money off of this?
Percentage of the deal.
That's what it is. Okay.
Percentage of the deal, and then obviously as we move forward with a lot of back-end business tools, there will be other things that we can do to help local businesses attract more of those users back into their business. So, where a lot of the group buying deals are one and dones, take a percentage of the deal, which is great. They're making a lot of money off that.
Yeah.
But what happens next? How can we tap back into those 500 or 1,000 local consumers, 6 months from now to get them back? So that's all part of the plan.
And I got to ask you, are you guys how are you surviving right now? Is it are you funded, angel funded, out of pocket?
We're mostly out of pocket.
Ramen noodles for lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
Ramen noodles, yeah. It's tough living in New York when you're on a shoestring.
Yes.
But yeah, self-funded and just trying to bang away.
So, I got to ask, because this is obviously there's competitors in this space, well-funded guys. And is it? And I think I know the answer to this, but this is a large opportunity. I mean, I think there are 20 million businesses, front-facing, consumer-facing businesses in the U.S. I mean, this is a big opportunity, far bigger than one company can handle. Although you'd like to, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that competition? We chastise the group buying model, right? Which is everybody just dove right into there, and there's two clear leaders right now. Do you see a point with Ringleadr and this type of group buying that all of a sudden people are going to be following this, and then how do you deal with that?
Yeah, we have some pretty smart guys in our court right now that know how to scale pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If we need to, I know we're going to need to. But yeah, it's the great thing about this this business is there's not a lot of barriers of entry. So as long as you're smarter than the next guy, you don't need a lot of money to beat them.
Yeah. And you think that first mover is a big advantage for you guys?
It's great. It's a huge advantage for us because we are first to market with this concept of a reverse Groupon living social business.
Yep.
So it's a great advantage for us. Absolutely.
And are you focusing on any specific industries, or is it just the natural ones that kind of percolate, the guys that come to you?
Yeah, the great thing about it is our kind of lead lists for deals are created for us. So we morph with in the direction of where our users are, what kind of businesses they're creating deals for, and we're here to technically service them. Actually,
it's the greatest thing, an enabler.
Right. Exactly.
The service that you provide is such that when we look back in the history of these kind of evolutions of technology, like Groupon, like Ringleadr, these are the kind of companies that you remember because it fundamentally took a concept that people accepted and said, why are people accepting it this way? There's got to be a better way, a more efficient way for you, the consumer, to get what you want instead of actually settling for what is offered. And it's such a subtle difference, but that's why what resonated with Ringleadr. And I think the mobile play is going to outshine the web play at some point, because when you give the power to the consumer at the moment that they need that, right, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they got a group of people, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the value is obviously going to be amplified.
Sure, I agree with that.
And I can't wait to see that. Any ideas when you're thinking of getting doing the mobile stuff?
We should be ready to launch with a kind of a scaled down beta product by late Q1 or early Q4.
Yeah.
So we try to launch things that are simple, minimum viable products. That's what we did with our site now. You land on it, you know what you're supposed to do, you create a deal, it's done, you share it.
Yeah.
So we're looking to do the same thing with our mobile platform.
So how do let me ask you, is there anything that I haven't asked you that I should ask you around what you're doing with Ringleadr?
When are we coming to Ottawa?
Yes, that's the question.
Soon. We are just in the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
We're going to be adding some bells and whistles to break the borders, so to speak, and help you out up north.
I love it. Well, I mean, we're always, it's a great, Canada's great for one thing. It's a good beta place, right? So, the population of Canada is probably just a little bit more than the population of California. So, big spread out, lots of square feet or square miles per person.
Sure.
But people use Canada, especially Canadian companies, use it as a good beta test, right? So come on up. Like, come on, beta test. All you guys out there, beta test in Canada. And then go down into the States. You don't want to be down there and stress test right off the bat. You want to like gradually get it, bring it up to Canada.
Yeah.
We're calm. We're not going to get angry.
Okay.
We'll apologize for your mistakes.
Maybe for my next company, I'll.
Okay. So how can people find out about you guys right now?
Go to the website www.ringleadr.com without the E.
So, Ringleadr.com, right?
Ringleadr.com.
And it's only available in the States in select cities, obviously, where there's deals. Like popular cities, it seems to be that, I mean, it's all the big popular cities like New York, obviously Nashville, Austin, Dallas, Boston, Detroit, Denver.
Right, exactly. Most of our deals are kind of being created in the hub right now, but that's another thing that sets us apart from some of the larger operators is you can create a deal anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah, you don't have to be in a major city. You can be in your small town that has 100 population. You can still create a deal.
I love that. You just got to get all 100 people in your town to actually go out and, I mean, as a percentage, right? Hey, 40% of the town.
Yeah, we got them.
We own the market. I can't wait to see this. What you guys do on the mobile side, because I think that's really where this extends. But anytime you bring a location in, it becomes mobile. And certainly from a business standpoint, I love the approach. The way that you guys are doing this, the reverse kind of Groupon model. I think that this is one of those disruptive things, more so than Groupon. The group buying mentality has been around for quite some time. There were some good web properties in 1999, 2000 that were into the group buying in the B2B space. Sure. And there was always this promise. But again, I love the way that you guys are approaching this. That the approach that, look, this is what I want, not what I'll settle for. And that's what Ringleadr to me, why it's going to be successful. And I wish you all the best, Mike.
I appreciate it. Definitely.
So go to Ringleadr, that's RINGLEADR.com. If you're in the States, there's a bunch of deals already up there. You can participate, or if not, just set up your own. Go and do it. Be demanding, and bring in everybody so that you get the discount that's warranted. And don't be greedy. These companies have to make a living, and it's about use Ringleadr to do that.
Exactly.
I've been speaking with Mike Davis, who's the co-founder and CEO of Ringleadr. Go and visit it, set up the deal, and we'll be looking forward to seeing the mobile side. Mike, I really appreciate you coming on to Untether and sharing this with us.
Thanks a lot, Rob. It was a pleasure.
And for those of you who are still watching, still listening, wherever you may be, really appreciate the fact that you do that. If you have any comments about this, look, I was pretty blasphemous against Groupon. Mike has said here that if he ever gets a $6 billion offer, he's going to take it. He's not going to be he's going to take that deal. But if you have any comments about it, reach out. Let me know. untether@gmail.com. I answer every single email that comes in, so please start the barrage. I'm looking forward to it. Said some controversial things in this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Mike, thank you for being a part of this. I really appreciate your time on this all-star evening. And that's another episode of Untether.tv. Done. We'll see you next time.